Hello, beautiful Instagram world. Hello, hello, hello. Today we have something so special. I know I haven't been here in a while, but I'm really coming to you today with a very inspired topic and a very special guest. So we're going to wait for her to join. And I will briefly introduce to you the topic that we will be talking today about, which is, as you could see on the title, Effortless Success, something that I, myself, and Gretchen, the amazing goddess woman who will be joining me right now, are very passionate about, and sort of we're bringing this more into the world through whatever services that we're doing. So we felt very inspired to share this with you today on this unplanned talk. This is just going to be like a very easygoing chat between Gretchen and myself. So I see, Gretchen, you're here, so I'm waiting for you to join. So something that let me see, maybe I can do it. No. I invited. Okay. Yay!
Perfect.
Amazing. Oh, I love your background right away.
Oh, my bags.
Those who don't know, you can right away understand what you do and who you are. And maybe that's something that we can kind of quickly introduce, right? Let's introduce. Gretchen is, like I said already, like an amazing goddess, powerhouse woman.
You're so sweet.
Beautiful mama, entrepreneur, passionate fashion designer, and just so many more things. Those are all just kind of small identities that we can, put ourselves in. So happy to have you here, Gretchen.
Thank you, Leila, for having me. I love talking about effortless joy and feminine success with you. It's one of my highlights. Yeah, a little bit about me. I'm a handbag designer by trade. I launched my own company, Maull, in 2016, and we create hands-free handbags that empower women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gretchen and I have been working for a while, and like I said, we're just both so passionate about this topic in our personal life and as just something to deliver to other people, women, but also just in general, anybody who wants to have a little bit of this kind of fresh air, a little bit of like to dilute the current, tendencies and trends in the world that are dominating. So we wanted to talk more about this effortless success and what it means for us and how we bring it into our life, not only in business but I think overall, right? Because specifically for women, all of the areas of our life are so important for us that we just can't narrow ourselves down to one area and neglect the rest. And so let's chat. I actually prepared a few questions, but most of it is really impromptu, and we just gonna go and see where it's going to lead you.
Yeah, well, I really love how you started that out. I'd say even since COVID and becoming a mom, women don't really have a defined separation between work life and personal life. So it's all blended together in our definition of success.
Mm-hmm. And as you know me, I always bring a twist of positivity. I'm like, okay, this is actually great. Like we are redefining that, what it is and how can we combine motherhood, our careers, our passions, our relationships all into one so that they don't contradict each other, but actually fuel each other, that we are not taking away time from one area to bring into another, but we're bringing more time into one area that fuels, our whatever well-being, where we can shine more in the rest of the areas in our life. That's kind of how I view it.
Yeah.
So what's that effortless success for you? Because that's, you know, for some people that would feel very like, you know, the two words that don't come together.
Right. Right. I think for sure the main thing that I've been doing is reworking what my idea of success is. Breaking down, working with Leila has been amazing because I get to break down the idea that it has to be difficult, things have to be hard to be successful, which is really kind of a masculine approach that, you know, the harder you push, the harder you work, things, that's how you make things happen. But women aren't like that, you know, I think we just get very clear on what we want and then we attract it into ourselves, which is like a much more effortless approach. So I would say almost now in my business, if something is causing me a lot of stress, I almost know that that's the wrong path for me and that there's another way to solve whatever problem it is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I see it as like, first of all, that, you know, feminine and masculine, of course, those are the energies that we all have. And the topics that we're talking about, they're not necessarily for women. So whoever resonates with it can absolutely take it on. And I do feel that in the world that we're moving in this new paradigm that we are creating, and shifting from the old paradigm where there's a lot of struggle, a lot of suffering, and we're shifting more into joy and creating out of pleasure, we will be seeing more people just overall incorporating these ideas that we are talking about. And for me, this kind of like flow with life and flow with the divine. And I really feel that when for, you know, specifically, you know, if we're talking about women, for us and for everybody to realize how inherently amazing, beautiful, and worthy we are already, and that we are always supported, that we are always provided, and that if there is any kind of mental constructs that are in the way, that okay, we help, we try to work with them, we try to kind of remove them so that we are becoming even more clear of a vessel to receive all of the abundance, all of the beauty that is already available to us just by default, just because we are born and just because this is our birthright.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so I do feel that for me, when it comes to you know, feminine success or effortless success, there's a big part of it to me is a, you know, that kind of spiritual foundation, whatever that spiritual foundation would be, you know, for the person. Because like you said, sometimes things are not going the way that you want them to go. And you kind of like, you keep running into this like wall, and then you feel, you know, that am I not doing something right? And of course, sure, there's some, you know, reasonable questions you can ask, but then at the same time, oh, maybe my soul, my life, the divine, the universe, whatever, are showing me a better path. Maybe the goals that I have selected are not even mine. And I want to talk more about this because you were saying like redefining success, because what's that, what is success even for you?
Right. Well, now for me, success is, well, for Gigi Maull, I guess, at least, is for me to, I say empower women, but that just really means like helping them feel confident, helping them feel their self-worth, helping them want to take risks and follow their dreams through fashion, which is always why I loved it. You know, if you look good, you feel good. We include like the mantra cards in our bags to encourage women to write a personal mantra that they can say to themselves every day. So to me, if like a woman is turned on and just feeling the fire in her belly when she walks out the door, that's my definition of success for my company. And then for me personally, it's the balance of being a successful entrepreneur, being a mom, being a wife, you know, living my life unapologetically and as full as I want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I feel that, if we just break it down to the bottom of it, is that do you feel good or you don't feel good?
Yeah,
Right? It's
exactly.
like
Your
you
emotions.
creating, we are creating all of these goals, and sometimes they're so superficial, sometimes they're kind of, we take them from, the external. That's what we've seen other people are desiring, so we feel like, okay, that must be something I want. And then we're like in pursuit of it, we feel exhausted, we lose our health, we lose our connection with, our children, the people in our life. We cannot build, long lasting relationships, and then it's like, and that's it, and then we die. It's like, and what's that for? So for me, it's just so much about the present moment and feeling, like you said, fire in your belly, feeling like you are expressing whatever that, whatever that purpose is for you, and that you're just feeling good about yourself, even in the moments when you feel like you could do better, you still kind of come back to yourself, and you know
Strong self-worth. You're right. I mean, the
exactly.
way we could boil this down so quickly is, do I feel like I'm a success? Then I am a success.
Right, right.
But
And it's like,
easier said than done.
yeah, because it's like my definition of success. So it's like nobody is to judge me what my success. It's my life. I live it. So let me just do my thing. And if I feel successful, and it's not even like you don't even need to be a creator. You don't even need to be an entrepreneur. You don't need to be a model. Whatever it is for you, right? But it's like claiming it and living it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think a big piece of this is just taking the time to tune into your emotions. I mean, I know you love like nature walks, like meditating. To me, it was the biggest gift of being pregnant was how it was just so in your body, it wasn't in your mind, and just being able to at least, turn off whatever your mind is telling you and really feel what you're feeling is maybe the first step of this for people.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I can explain it from sort of like from the perspective of like how it works. Because when we're in the mind, right, that's where I'm kind of saying how we can have adopted some sort of desires that are not even ours, that bring us to the state of exhaustion. And we're so disconnected when we're completely just in the mind. And the feminine approach for anybody, and just to even balance yourself, is to come back into the body and come back into the emotions. And the emotions need to just be allowed to travel as they are without suppressing anything negative, because in the world of emotions there's no such thing as negative and positive. It's only the mind that creates the polarization, right? So then we're just allowing it to be. So if I need to roar, I'm gonna roar, hopefully in a safe environment where I'm not hurting anybody, right? So definitely we have techniques for it. If I need to cry, I'm going to cry. But that presence, like you said, in nature, where you're alone, where you're more supported by the silence of nature and the natural living versus all of the noise that are thrown at us through everything that's been man-made, in the last centuries. So, and
Then you can tune into like your feelings. But I think you told me this actually last week, which I love, and I'm just going to repeat to everyone, is that excitement and anxiety is the exact same emotional feeling in your body. The only difference is the story that you're telling yourself in your
mm-hmm,
head.
mm-hmm,
So like how I think success is really like redefining that story
mm-hmm, yeah.
in every moment, and whatever problems or whatever issues arise, is how do you flip the script from this is causing me anxiety to this is making me excited and bringing me closer to my desire or my
Yeah,
goal.
and it's like, oh, it's opening up something new. There's new adventures. Oh, okay. Like my mind wasn't able to kind of plan for something that I don't know, but I'm opening myself up. And it seems like my life is taking me on a journey that I couldn't perceive is even possible. So I'm so excited. Let the magic happen and expect the
Yeah.
magic. Expect, you know, and that kind of how we can work with the mind to help the mind come out of the survival. That's where the, you know, all of this tension comes in, where the anxiety comes in, into more of the thriving and anticipation of the goodness, because the mind is naturally so far has been trained in, you know, for human to survive. And now we're reaching the level of, in life, where we are, you know, not all of the people in the world, but many of us already getting to the place where we are well surviving, and we don't need to worry about that so much, and that, you know, we have support systems. And now what's next? And that's where we can apply the mind to actually, you know, help us travel into the new worlds
Yeah.
and care for it when it needs our help, because it's like a little baby that's just so afraid of the unknown. And bringing that bigger aspect that I said earlier, that kind of spiritual component, is that I'm surrendering. The feminine is all about surrendering, connecting to the body and the feelings. And I wanted to mention, why do we connect to the feelings? Is that, like you said, right, the feelings and the emotions, it's kind of like the energy that's traveling through the body. And then if we notice that there's any kind of like negative emotion that we pursue as like perceive as negative, we can look at the thought. We can already say for sure there's some sort of negative thought that is activated, that is probably part of my conditioning, that is now, you know, showing up as this negative emotion, because my truth, my divine being is in bliss always. I am, you know, bliss, you know, I am love, I am, you know, this pure joy. And anything else that is not that on a level of a thought will create this resonance in the body, where the body is going to be rejecting it, and we're going to feel this tension, we're going to feel the contraction. And when we connect to the body, we also are able to connect to our beautiful intuition, to that greater part of ourselves that is, I call it eternal, and that part that is connected to the true desires that will ultimately will lead us to the place of greatest satisfaction and joy.
Yeah, yeah, connecting to your soul is so important. I think if anyone on this doesn't exactly understand what we're talking about, a great book I love about the evolution of this is The Seat of the Soul. Oprah said it changed her life when she read it. It was written in the 80s, so it's not exactly new, but yeah, that our species is evolving from five sensory of like sight, smell, touch to intuition, multi-sensory beings of like intuition, purpose, connecting to your soul. And everything Leela said exactly. When you feel negative emotions, you're moving away from your soul. And when you're feeling your positive emotions, you're aligned.
Yeah.
And that helps manifest and bring things to you,
Mm-hmm.
which creates effortless success.
Yes. And you know, this next thought that comes in, okay, so for somebody who has been on this path for a while, this feels already kind of like really easy, because there's not so much of like external struggle, that external systems that we are placed in, because we already moved away from the system. But think of yourself back, like I know you worked in the fashion industry, like you've done it in the you've created success in a masculine way as well, right? So how was your experience back then? What would you say would be the red flags that weren't the right, you know, that wasn't the right approach for you? And also, how did you start to move away from it, for those who are maybe right now finding themselves in this position?
Yeah. So for me, one of the big shifts I made in my business was fashion. There's sort of a path you're supposed to get into a lot of small retails, then work up to like a big Bloomingdale's or department store. I get into a big department store, you know, they want to place a huge order with me, but I feel horrible. It's the most stressful thing. They I will be making no money. I will be taking insane risks. I am being completely disempowered and told that there's a million other small handbag brands. I'm lucky that they're choosing me. So they get to take all the profit. And I'm just lucky to just get shelf space in the store. I think taking a step back and realizing that, one, this made no sense. And like, if I want to empower women, how am I going into a situation where I'm being completely disempowered? And it made no sense financially. So to take a step back and take control of my own retail and do direct to consumer, where even if I sell less handbags, I make, the full amount on each one. I get to have that direct relationship with my customer. And, it allows me to like launch a completely different system I'm trying called Voice Your Vision, where the customer gets to replace the department store buyer and gets that same power. I give it to my customers and my rebels, of course. Has it grown yet to be like the revenue success? No, but I'm on a path that I know genuinely supports my joy and what I want to share with the world, I guess.
Yes, yes. Well, there's two things. One, if you look at this kind of like masculine approach, right, you think, okay, like, has your voice, your vision became this like humongous like world trend now? No, maybe it hasn't. But then we go back to the definition of success. That's not even success. For you, success is how you feel day to day, moment to moment. And it's not about creating this amazing thing, which it is happening anyways, because
Right.
there's other, and so you kind of like in line with life. You are not missing out on the rest of your life while struggling, running to make this kind of thing happen. And then it is happening. So I think there is a big component to the feminine success and this effortless success is that we have to drop the attachment to the timeline. It's not like, that's definitely something that
The timeline, but I also think I could easily say that I was working probably 80 hours a week in this last one, and I'm probably working 25 hours a week and accomplishing the exact same thing.
Right, right. And being authentic to who you are, and you can actually communicate your mission, right? You can communicate your mission, vision. You can inspire people only by being that example. Because we speak a lot about this feminine empowerment, and then we go on and take on all of these masculine approaches to life in general and to success. And I feel like we're doing ourselves a disfavor. And I know it's kind of like work in progress. Everything is work in progress. There's certainly no judgment. We are finding our way through, because there's not even so much of information out there. There's not so many examples. That's why like you one of those kind of like leading people in your industry. And then there are other, maybe some of you who are watching it right now or in replay are also feeling like you want to do something in a different way, and that you are not sure whether you should, whether it's going to be working, it's going to be working for you. You have to give yourself a chance. You have to try it. And with everything else that we're kind of talking about, dropping this sort of attachment to like, okay, this is my end of the year goal, or this is my end of the month goal, and if it's not gonna happen, then I'm gonna feel I'm gonna feel miserable. But really, in reality, how why
I'm feeling miserable the whole time trying to get there. So
right, exactly. But can you tell us a little bit more about this voice your vision? Because I think it's such an important strategy that you're creating, because all of these like big corporations, and they are so interconnected. The oil industry, the kind of animal industry, the pharmaceutical industry, fashion industry, all of these big boys are all connected. And all just want, of course, agriculture, I shouldn't forget that, and many, many more, all just want to make you think you are nothing and your voice is nothing. and that you know there's a
You have no
ton
power.
and you have no power, like, right? But it is not true. So can you speak a little bit more about this vision that you came in when you stepped back and you were like, wait, no.
Yeah, I stepped back and was like, I want to take this power back. How is this one person going to be deciding what colors and, you know, maybe what hardware and what handbag styles go into production? Because, you know, they're supposedly placing the biggest order that then at any moment they can send back to you. I wanted to give that power to my customers, to my rebels. I wanted to hear their opinions. I wanted to know what colors they liked the best, what silhouettes, you know, brought them joy or eased their life, you know. So, Voice Your Vision is where I design new handbags the same way I would show them to, you know, buyers and magazines. But instead, I show them early to my customers and they get a chance to pre-purchase at a lower price, the same way a store normally would. And that funds my production. So it's a way of women investing in women, and it's more sustainable because we know exactly how many we sell. So we sort of know exactly how many to make. And yeah, there's no extra waste. We're like
Yeah,
a
you
big
don't have to
company.
burn unused product.
Right. We don't burn any unused product.
Which
If
is
anything, actually, we give them away to other women who would be empowered.
right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is just so important, and this brings in the component, another component of this kind of like the feminine energy of community. That, you know, when we are kind of moving into these big cities, nobody knows each other, we're like also disconnected, it's so much easier to feel disempowered. When we connect, we create our own community, we connect with like-minded people, we support each other. Yes, there is a little bit more of a time that you have to wait before your product comes in, right?
Right.
But you receive it with so much joy, you receive it knowing that you put part into it with
Yeah.
your energy. It's being created, it's just so different. And overall, like, this constant every immediacy is such a hip thing right now. I know, like Amazon and all this quick deliveries, 1 day delivery, they're actually not eco-friendly, they are not people friendly, they are not, you know, they're just exhausting the resources. So learning how to surrender, learning how to take a moment to breathe, to wait, to kind of like, okay, like the things are not gonna burn to the ground if we're gonna wait for our delivery for longer than a day. And investing into, you know, the groups and people who are actually redefining and doing things in this kind of like win-win-win, right? Way where it is a win for you, win for me, and win for the planet. Because ultimately there is no success if there is a loss in any of those sides. It's going to come back to you later on in one way or another. And that, I think, collectively we're coming to understand that my actions affect everything around me, and I have to, you know, kind of step up in the level of responsibility, and not just criticize how horrible everything is around me while not shifting anything
Yeah.
within and with my actions.
I think it's such a small piece that women can do. Um, for me, I guess handbags and a lot of women are like really a status symbol. So it really speaks to like what your values are and who you are, sort of what handbag you carry. But supporting, for me personally, I only try to buy and support like female founded brands because they are so much more eco-conscious. They care so much more about the community and big picture. Women control 80% of the purchasing power, but somehow we only make up we have 40% of the companies, but we only make up 4% of the revenue. So we really, really do have the power. We really do have the power to change retail, to change like how all of this works, you know, if we vote with our dollars.
Yes, we vote with our dollars. We also are mothers, those who are mothers. We are raising children who are more, who are more ethically minded and who kind of understand, or like we build in the values that comes from us. The values will have to come from us to our children. And that's how we raise in our next, future generations. So it is on so many levels that women actually have an impact and have most of the power. And of course, like with your beloved, right? Like in a relationship, especially like say, in like with your husband, you can also inspire that person to do things in a more ethical way, and more kind of aligned way that is bring value to everybody. So women have a lot of power. Let's just like forget about this. I think when a lot of people think feminine is weak, that is just such an old paradigm belief, and that strength is actually the masculine quality. It's like, no, women are so strong, and in our joy, in our pleasure, we are the strongest. We are not strong to pull like 100 pounds, but it's a different type of strength that is actually more useful and more impactful.
Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different strength, but I mean, who's giving birth here?
Yeah,
So,
exactly, right? Who's given birth here? It's just like, that's it. End of story. Continuation of life, carrying the portal. I mean, don't get me started. This
but I
is
think I think even the pleasure piece you talked about is a really big good piece of effortless success that women who tap into it, I think will have an easier time accessing their effortless success, is leaning into all of the things that bring them pleasure and joy.
exactly. And that always starts with the body, right? Because pleasure, it's something that's so kind of um, so sensual and feminine, and so connecting to the body, for women to start awakening their sensuality, awakening the ability to feel. We're so numb in this current day and age because we're up in the head, oftentimes in survival mode, even though not always there is a reason for it. And then we're just like continually exhausting ourselves, dropping into the body for with any kind of practices that we can do, would just start shifting our attention and helping us to notice, oh wait, like I haven't even realized I've been carrying this anxiety in my chest all this time, right? Like when we start dropping into the body and become more aware, we start noticing that we have, oh, I have this kind of tension, I feel like I'm carrying a lot of weight on my shoulders, or I have like constant like nagging like pain in my stomach I haven't noticed before, and like, what's that, where is it coming from? Oh, it is connected to kind of like a negative construct, the conditioning that I'm carrying about myself, that I'm not good enough or whatever. And so we start kind of unpacking more and more. And but every moment we can choose something a little bit that is more in alignment with pleasure, more in alignment with joy, something that just kind of brings us to the present moment of this beautiful life as it is right now already.
Yeah, I love to practice the rampant appreciation for whenever I do feel stress or do feel anxiety or negative emotions sort of take over, to just stop and breathe and then be like, what's going right now? It's like, I'm healthy. I can see the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I have a beautiful baby. You
Yeah.
know, you can think of all of the positives that are going right, and then it really like flips your like emotions, and yeah, then you can probably more easily find the path of pleasure in the problem that you're solving at that moment.
Yes, yes, because the solutions don't lie in the realm of the problem, right? That's what we oftentimes would just try. I need to think more. I can't go to sleep because I have to figure this out, right? I need to finish this. Like there's this kind of like approach oftentimes we choose. versus was like, okay, I see I'm not making anything new. I'm just kind of like running myself in circles. Let me put this kind of issue to the side and go and find joy for myself. Wherever small or big it is, whatever is available for me in this given moment, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be like,
No.
like a trip to Spain, right? And then in that silence, I always call it like in silence, kind of, and in this place of joy and pleasure, we can say our vibrational frequency goes up, right? Like our energy, our spirit goes up. We're in a more receptive state to a better opportunities. So then from here, we don't even need to think. Sometimes the solutions come in even in the moment, in the processes of doing something else. Has this happened to you? It's
Yeah,
like you're
totally.
just like enjoying yourself, like you're on like vacation, not even vacation, but like you're doing something pleasant, and then an answer comes in, a very creative solution, something like, even with voice your vision, I'm sure it came in. It's not a very like a direct sort of way of figuring things out, right? I'm sure it came in somewhere, and that's what inspiration in spirit. When we're in spirit mode, when we are in our bliss and our joy, we are connecting to the high opportunities and possibilities, and new creative solutions just drop. Opportunities come in, issues become solved by somebody else. I think we should talk about that also, because as women, as everybody, we're like, as all people, we're like feeling like, and of course it's rooted in our sense of self-worth, that I have to figure this out by myself, I have to do this by myself. But no, baby, like you don't have to do this by yourself. That's why the community is so
No, you
important.
have a whole universe supporting you.
Exactly. Let the universe support you through the hands of other people by asking them, by delegating, but by opening up and saying yes when the invitation comes in. When somebody is inviting you, or somebody is inviting you like to split responsibilities with you, like, sure, yes, thank you, more please, and kind of know that you're creating this, even though it came from somebody else, that help came from somebody else. It is just through it's the universe through the hands of other people talking to you and bringing to you what you requested,
Yeah.
which is more joy. And to feel more joy, you need to feel less stress, and to feel less stress, you need to work less, not 80 hours per week, but I
Right.
recently did I recently did a poll on my Instagram and on my Facebook, and I asked people of, how many hours would you like to be working, even if you actually loved what you're doing. And most people said that kind of like on the range of 4 hours a day. Most women, because my audience is predominantly women, but some men answered like higher in hours, which is totally making sense, because for us, we need time for pleasure, we need time for whatever, dance, yoga, movement, meditation, nature walk, chat with girlfriends, time
Right.
with our babies. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So much yes.
So let's see. We've already kind of run over the time that we were planning, but it just, again, it feels like
It's
no
easy
time
and
had
fun
passed,
hanging with you.
right? It feels like no time had passed. Is there anything else you want to share? Maybe like a final advice, or an inspo that you want to give to women and to people, to just kind of how to help them step into this
for
effort.
their for their effortless success.
Yeah.
I think we touched on a lot of them. I hope just do something that brings you joy today. No
Just do
matter what it is, what a little thing, a sweet strawberry, a walk on the beach, text someone and tell them that you love them,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that
Mm-hmm.
like would really, I like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be one fun thing someone
Yeah,
could
yeah,
do.
yeah. Yeah, if we want to leave our audience with this sort of like actionable items that are easy and pleasant to do, additional item that I would add is feel gratitude. Like think of the things that actually
Yeah.
make you feel grateful today, and create more of a practice that is cultivating the sense of gratitude on a daily basis, your life is going to shift just from focusing on that.
Yeah, and raising your frequency.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think practicing gratitude and following your bliss, both of those would be
That's it. Yeah.
an awesome day.
And of course, we do have to say that, we are still in the world of contrast. We understand that, sometimes, old conditioning kicks in, old pain, insecurities kicks in. We need to search for support. We need to look for people who actually inspire and help us to move through that,
Yeah.
with that energy, and not get stuck and not kind of go back into the sort of old mentality where we are surrounded by people who are tell us, what did you do today to feel proud of yourself? And instead, who are you today that you are proud of yourself, right? It's very different approach, and we need to surround more and more ourselves with people, whether it is online to begin with, but also, hope later in person with the people who are our tribe,
Yeah.
who cares, so that life doesn't have to be a struggle. It's not a requirement anymore.
No, we're here to remind you can follow us. We'll tell you what a badass, powerful woman you are, creating your reality and creating your effortless success. I love it. Anyone, you can text me. I'll tell you it every day.
Yeah, no, this is like, you have more power than you think. And even if you think you have a lot of power, you still have so much more. It's just unlimited. And it is a pleasure to be uncovering and discovering more of that. And with any kind of sabotaging, aspects that will be coming in, one of them is oftentimes, fear of success and fear of expansion. Really seek support to help through that energy and see where it's rooted, so that you can come back to your natural state, which is pure bliss and joy.
Yeah, Leela's amazing. Yeah, if you haven't ever worked with a mentor to help you through any of those like mental blocks, she's so talented and has given me such a new lease on life and how to run my business. I can't recommend it enough. Yeah.
Thank you. And it's important. You see, we kind of like, we speak the same language, so we came into alignment, so we fuel each other. You fuel me, I fuel you. And it's important to find somebody who just fuels you, who you feel connected, who you feel inspired to. So whoever the mentor is, it doesn't have to be like one specific language. It just has to be somebody who you feel in resonance with for a period of time. Perfect. Well, Gretchen, thank you so much. I love this chat with you. Maybe we'll do this later, because this feels so effortless and fun, and all again in alignment with what we are here for on this planet, to spread more of this wisdom, spread more of this lifestyle and knowledge, that you have everything you need already right now, and that you are a beautiful creation. You are deserving of all of the beautiful things that you want, and the universe is here for you to support you with that.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Leela. Bye, my beautiful rebels.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. And let us know what you think, how this landed, and if
tell us your favorite takeaway.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Coach Gretchen.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.